And welcome. We're live at lrn.fm and peacenewsnow.com/live, where you can see live video of this show as well as listen to the audio broadcast. I'm joined in studio by a very special guest, Josie Wales. Hey, Josie.
Hi, how are you?
Excellent. Good to be with you. We're going to be talking about some peaceful resistance news and also a little bit about what you do. I'm also joined by a very handsome Davi Barker. Hello, Davi.
How's it going, guys?
Hi, Davi.
It's excellent. So, Davi, it's good to have you here. I've got a bunch of news stories to talk about. Among the best of them is that there's a ceasefire in Gaza. And
that's excellent.
Yeah, we can all cheer that no more blood is being spilled, at least.
Have you seen the fish situation in Gaza?
I have no idea what you're talking about. What fish situation?
So this borders on like miraculous answers to prayers or something, but essentially like huge schools of hundreds of thousands of fish washed up on the shore in Gaza during a famine.
That's
and
like
essentially solved the famine.
Oh my God. That is like a biblical thing. You think it's
Do I think what?
You think it's an answer to prayer?
I just, things like that tweak. I'm an eternal skeptic, so I don't say one way or the other what I think is going on in God's mind. But things like that warm my heart. If that's as far as I'll go with it.
So there is a call-in number. You can dial in 443-424-8347. And you can contact Peace News Now. Share your stories of peaceful resistance. You can also Skype us by sending a contact request to Peace News Now. It'll be accepted, and then we will put you on the air. I've also got a bunch of phone calls from James in Arizona, a frequent caller to the show who's been upset over the past few days that he hasn't been able to get through because I've blocked all his calls. But before doing that, he left a bunch of messages. We might just listen to some of those messages on air.
Wow.
I think that'll be fun. Because it's typically a family show, so I'll do a little bit of screening first to make sure he doesn't use any foul language. So also on this program, we like to focus on stories of peaceful resistance, Josie. And so I've got a bunch of news stories here. I'm going to read some headlines, and I'm going to let you direct what is the most interesting to you. So here's a couple of headlines I'll throw out at you. Dav, you get input too.
Okay.
Ceasefire in Gaza, obviously a big one. When is menstruation peaceful protest? ISIS demands $6.5 million ransom for a 26-year-old American woman. A Florida man records himself being attacked for not rolling the window down all the way. And a Minnesota gun club pays gay couples after refusing to a Minnesota gun club pays a gay couple's wedding after refusing to allow them to have their service on their property. That's pretty remarkable. So which is the most interesting to you two so far?
I would say the last one you just read.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought the menstruation one was pretty amazing.
I thought it was too. Okay. Yeah. I thought that was pretty interesting too. However, I don't.
You don't want to talk about it? That's fine.
No. It's not that I don't want to talk about it. I don't know what my opinion might be.
It's pretty wicked.
It is. I mean,
it's pretty nasty.
Yeah.
But it is a form of peaceful protest. There's no one who was injured technically.
Are you talking about the picture of the
Femen protesters?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what we're talking about now. Okay.
I don't, but I'm fascinated by this.
Ooh, it was a pretty graphic picture.
All right,
Yeah,
here we go. Let's do that
go.
first. Let's. If you have children nearby, please shield your eyes because this is going to be adult themed. And for those of you who are listening along at lrn.fm, you're going to have to Google this or something. It's about Femen and their protest. They tweeted a picture of themselves menstruating on the ISIS flag. So
I did see this picture.
So this woman is menstruating right on the ISIS flag while another one is defecating. They both have guns present and physically attractive women, I think, is something of a prerequisite for this group, Femen. They tend to paint messages on their bodies. This says ISIS, I don't know what the 010 thing is. Is that some sort of
Yeah,
symbolism?
there's symbolism to that. I can't remember exactly what it is.
Well, they're naked,
Yeah.
and I think this is a wonderful form of peaceful protest. As disturbing as it is, like I don't like to see images like that. In fact, I'm going to take it off the screen. It's totally peaceful, and it really gets the message across. Like, you know, how many times are people saying, I wish I could get this message across to the people? Well, nudity does it. And having an offensive message like menstruating.
Am I correct that these are Egyptian women? I think I read that they were Egyptian women, which sort of adds another level to it.
I don't know. It says in a quote in a tweet from Femen, one of the Femen activists, hashtag ISIS. Animals, our execution of your ideas looks like that. Watch it well. Hashtag Femen, and tweeted at Elia El-Mahdi, whom I don't know. That might be one of the women. But a lot of the reactions here are that these women are foul and these women deeply disgust me. You know, sure, it's not a pleasant image to see, but aren't they promoting peace? Davi?
What they're doing is technically peaceful, and what they're promoting is more peaceful than ISIS. I don't think that what they're promoting is a resolution to conflict.
Yeah, I guess not.
Well, I would say that what they're promoting is an objection to it, and an abhorrence, and a disgust, and this is what I think of your flag and what it represents.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Minnesota Gun Club pays a gay couple's wedding after initially refusing them service. So this is a little bit tricky. Let's try and follow this story. A Minnesota hunting club agreed to pay for a gay couple's wedding reception and ceremony after backing out of the deal the two parties originally agreed upon. And I really like this story because it exhibits libertarian principles. When there was a recent story of a gay couple suing like a wedding ceremony place for not allowing them to have their gay wedding there, and they were like, we're suing because you're discriminating against us.
Right.
But like, they should be allowed to discriminate. If we're libertarians and we respect private property rights, then we say, hey, their house, their rules. If they don't want you being gay married there, they shouldn't have to be. I think that was a bad decision out of the ACLU of Colorado where that recently happened. But this is a good one in Minnesota, where LeBlanc's Rice Creek Hunting Club and Recreation Center in Little Falls reached a legal settlement for $8,500 with the couple, Cole Frey and Adam Block, on August 22nd. The couple also apologized and agreed to comply with Minnesota's non-discrimination laws in the future. So it kind of sucks that there's like some legal nonsense involved in this. The article continues. In February, after the couple got engaged, Frey contacted LeBlanc about scheduling the wedding at his clubhouse. But he didn't mention he was marrying a man. When he went in to secure the day and drop off the security deposit, the club learned about his partner and refused service, saying they don't condone same-sex marriage. Using the resources of the Minnesota Department of Human Rights, Frey was able to reach a settlement with the gun club. This suit is reportedly the first of its kind since the state legalized same-sex marriage in 2013. The final quote comes from an attorney of the gun club saying, quote, LeBlanc's made a mistake, and we did everything in our power to correct it. This couple is going to have a great wedding, and I can assure you LeBlanc's is going to be open to everybody. When we come back, ISIS demands $6.5 million ransom for a 26-year-old American woman. What will be her fate? That's certainly not.
Are you doing a Kickstarter?
I don't know what should happen. This is Peace News Now. Call in with your thoughts.
Are you a political activist who does things that the government might not like? Then this free ebook may save your life. Rats is your guide to protecting yourself against snitches, informers, informants, agents provocateur, narcs, finks, and similar vermin. Rats was written by OG libertarian Claire Wolfe. Rats is a short book, easy to read, and available free in many formats. Download Rats free at rats-nosnitch.com. That's rats-nosnitch.com.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way.
You can do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring Simon to the rally.
What with me?
Well, I'm comfortable here, actually.
Whoa. Hey, who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video or audio allowed in this hospital.
No, I have work today. This is you ain't gonna make. Wait a minute.
Forget the road.
Whoa. Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me?
Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this?
Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
Did you know you can get news updates about what's happening with the Liberty Radio Network delivered in the way you prefer? You can sign up for our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. Plus, you can stay in the loop by joining our Facebook profile at facebook.lrn.fm or follow us at Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm. It's all free, so sign up now at updates.lrn.fm for news updates delivered to your email box, facebook.lrn.fm to follow our Facebook page, and twitter.lrn.fm to receive our tweets.
If you want to move to the Free State and you're looking for some real estate, well, I know a guy who's really great. It's the realtor Mark Warden. Do you want a home with 20 acres, a lakeside cabin, any takers for renters, buyers, and sellers too? Mark Warden is the guy for you. PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
The easiest thing in the world for a reader to do is to stop reading, according to the late, great Barney Kilgore, who became managing editor of the Wall Street Journal in 1941 and grew the paper's circulation from 33,000 to 1 million by the 60s. And he'd be pleased to know that his paper is one of the few that people now pay to read online. Someone else pre-internet who realized that attention is fragile? Motown Records founder Bary Gordy. In the early 60s, when his label dominated the charts, he'd bring a dozen real people into the Hitsville, USA studios and audition songs. And he'd ask, if you were down to your last dollar, would you spend it on this record or would you buy a sandwich? Today, attention span seems like an oxymoron. For tips on cutting through the clutter, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
Welcome back to Peace News Now. We are live, broadcasting from Keene in the Shire. We're live on LRN.FM and at PeaceNewsNow.com/live. Go interact with the other listeners in the chat room. You can also dial in 443-424-8347 or Skype Peace News Now. So we're talking with Davi, the Shiny Badger. Hey, Davi.
How's it going?
And I'm also joined by Josie the Outlaw Wales. Is that how it's pronounced? Is that how? Like, what's your official name? What's your internet name?
Josie the Outlaw or Josie Wales.
I call you Josie Wales, but yeah. Josie the Outlaw, is that the same fictional character?
Yeah, it is. I actually got that nickname when I was 10 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
your dad is something of a super activist, right? Like I heard in a recent Some Garbage podcast that your dad was getting arrested for acts of civil disobedience when you were a kid.
Oh, yeah.
What was that
absolutely.
like?
Well, I don't really remember much of the first time I saw it happen. I was 4 years old, but I know that I was kind of confused, and I saw it happen. I remember bits and pieces of you know how our memory works. I don't know how much of it was just me, remembering it, or people telling me the story of how I was there, and that me incorporating that into what I think is the memory. But I do remember being a little frightened, and then because I'm in the middle of D.C. amongst 500,000 protesters, and being 4 years old and wondering how I was going to get home and who I was going to talk to, and
That's terrifying.
yeah, I would assume so. I don't really at that age I don't really remember too much, but
Right.
so that was interesting. But that definitely helped to counteract the indoctrination I faced, and was just
What indoctrination? They didn't send you to government school, did they?
no, Catholic.
Oh man.
No.
Davi, did you go to a government school or Catholic or Muslim or what?
Well, when I lived in Saudi Arabia, I went to a private British school.
Right.
And then when I got to the United States, I went to public school all through high school, but I also did a evening sort of like Christian after school, although we weren't Christian. It was sort of like a daycare service, and that included some education as well. But mainly I'm self-taught.
Yeah.
I would say I am a lot the same, although my father definitely counteracted that in the way that, I went to Catholic school, and my father is a very faith-based man, but he focused more on do unto others as you would yourself. Don't hurt others, treat others the way you'd like to be treated, and focused on that more so than the doctrines and the rules and the laws and the, all of the horrid things that, just the hypocritical nonsense that goes on.
Yeah, I think that's one thing people of all religions can get behind is the concept of the golden rule. I don't think Jesus has a monopoly on the golden rule. Do you,
No.
Davi?
Does what that?
Does Jesus
that?
have a monopoly on the golden rule?
No, I don't think so. I'm not even sure it's of Christian origin.
Right. Well, I don't know. I was raised in the church, and so, like, I have some of these ideas. Probably a lot of people do, but I have these ideas that everything I learned is only Christianity. Like, Muslims don't care about other people. That's Christians, and Muslims don't follow the golden rule. That's only Christian. That's a Christian thing. Obviously, I'm an atheist now, and I don't. But some of those old ideas stay with me because a lot of it.
Well, yeah, and it's hard to. You can't let go of things you've already heard. They're going to be in there, and you're going to remember them, and they're going to have an effect on the way that you handle things in the future.
Right.
But I think it's having the freedom and. Having the freedom to pick and choose what you'd like to take from all of these different teachings, whether they be, even some of the most horrible tyrants have said some really brilliant things. And we learn from it. So it's kind of, as long as you're free to pick and choose what you'd like to adopt as a lifestyle and as a principle, and how to live and how to treat other people, then I think there shouldn't be any issue in how you were raised, or.
Well, you're free to choose.
Yeah.
Except when it comes to government. So
right.
I want to ask, what are you doing these days? What are you up to?
Well, I just recently moved to Keene a couple days ago.
I'm glad you moved to Keene.
Right across the street.
This is where the best activists in the world are.
Yeah, and I remember a time when Jim Babb and Cantwell and all of them, a year, 2 years ago, were really pushing the whole, get to New Hampshire, do this, go there. And I don't know if you remember, but I swore up and down I would never leave my family. And I lived all over the tri-state area, but I never too far. And then I think I'm that stubborn person. It has to be my own idea.
Right, now it's my idea.
Yeah.
Hey, I know, I'm going to go to New Hampshire.
Right, now I'm ready, yeah. So I did. And
how'd it turn out? You happy with that decision?
I am very happy with it.
Cool.
Absolutely.
You're still sort of settling, aren't you?
I am still settling.
Right. But you were out for a girls' night tonight.
Yeah, we had a nice girls' night.
Isn't it cool that there are enough activists in a small town like Keene that you can have a girls' night where everyone's an anarchist?
Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
Yeah, like
it's so great. You know, we can sit and watch the sunset at this, you know, awesome place and right outside of Keene, and then come back and hang out with everyone. And you know, we're talking about we're not always talking about, you know, anarchy and anarchism and the principles of anarchism and this and that, but we know that we have that common bond, but we also have a friendship that extends beyond that, which is amazing.
Yeah, well, I think that's really cool. Like when you have a friendship that's at the point you don't even need to mention things like anarchy. That always gave me a lot of problems when I was like hanging out with my old friends, because you can watch a sunset with anybody.
Right.
But you know, having that camaraderie or that like shared experience of being like, and we also see the world the same way. That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
And it's uncommon, but it's common here in Keene.
It is.
So,
it's neat.
So you got a website too, right?
I do. It's josietheoutlaw.com. I don't think I've uploaded the last couple videos onto the site, but and actually just
last couple of videos. What are you talking about? You got a YouTube channel too, right?
Yes, I have a YouTube channel.
So you just need to like embed those YouTube videos right into the website. Get on that.
Yeah, I know. I have to.
Too much fun with girls' night.
I know. Well, and you know, Chris and I just made a new video the other day. We started a new channel. And
you did?
We did.
Cool. What's it called? Brutalist House?
It's called well, close. Brutalist Media Productions.
All right.
So we're going to be making videos, you know, collaborative videos on that, as well as I'm going to continue with my videos. He's going to continue with his thing. And I think we have some great brainstorming sessions over there, you know, and it's very organic and it comes out of nowhere. And
he's hilarious. You two recently did a video together where he pours. Can we like ruin the surprise?
Yeah, sure.
Has it already been out? Yeah, he pours a bucket.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He pours a bucket of blood on you.
Yeah.
What was that like?
We were watching some of those ice bucket challenge videos.
Yeah.
And I looked over and I was like, we got to do a video about that. And I'll get more into it in a little bit, but basically, instead of an ice bucket, I said, hey, how about if you pour a bucket of blood over my head?
This was your suggestion?
Yeah. I said that represents the blood of the lives of innocent men and women who have been lost and destroyed at the hands of the state. I think it's 260.
Yep.
Million.
Boom. Yeah, million. It could be billion.
It's million.
It's okay. We'll correct it.
Yeah.
I know you raised the bar for me. Will Pangman called me out for this ice bucket challenge, and I was trying to think of a creative way to do it. And then I saw your video and was like, okay, challenge accepted.
Blood one, Davi?
What's that?
Are you gonna do the blood one?
I'm not gonna do blood. I have another idea I'm floating around, but philosophically, I'm sort of doing something similar to the blood one.
Cool. How do our levels sound to you, Davi? Do we sound about equal? I've been trying to equalize our volumes over here.
You sound okay to me.
Okay, good, cool. Good. We should all.
By the way, Josie, I don't believe we've ever met. I'm Davi.
I actually just said that to Derek. I was like, I feel like we've communicated over. I think it was Twitter or some kind of Facebook or something, but we've never actually met. So it's wonderful to meet you.
Forgive me for not introducing you two.
That's
no,
okay.
I'm a huge fan, and I love it. And I remember when you had posted about getting flagged, I guess at the airport for. The Bitcoin, yeah.
That was crazy.
I shared that all over the place. I was like, this is
fun.
How many hits did your website get after that incident?
Oh, it was something like 100,000. I mean, here's the thing. Most of the traffic went to other places. It went to like Business Insider and Forbes magazine and places like that.
Did Daily Anarchist get a kick?
Yeah, it did.
All right, cool. Is that the one that you're talking about got 100,000?
Yeah.
Okay, word. You still writing at Daily Anarchist?
I'm the editor. I don't have time to write as much, but yeah, I do edit the articles there.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, thank you for doing that. Terrific work. All right, when we come back, should we get back into news stories or just talk more about our lives, our personalities, and the fun we're having in Keene? It's up to you. I want to talk a little bit about your YouTube channel, the video that you made with Cantwell. We got to finish that, and whatever this new channel is, get you some subscribers sent over that way.
Sure.
What's it called again?
Brutalist Media Productions.
Brutalist Media Productions.
Yeah.
We got a question from the chat room, but I didn't want to ask this on air, so we'll just ask, since this is just YouTube, during the break. Who is the better brutalist, Larkin Rose or Chris Cantwell?
Oh, the better brutalist. I don't know what they mean by better.
Yeah, what's the word?
Yeah, how do you measure it?
Yeah,
I don't know. It's better.
Clarify better.
All right, we'll ask the person in the chat room.
Like, what's the criteria?
And then I've got this story about ISIS demanding $6.6 million ransom from a 26-year-old American woman. Tavi, I don't know if you heard the Angel Clark show today, but I had this caller who speculated that the ISIS decapitation video was another one of those the
fakes.
Yeah, it was fake, but was like what's that anger of Muslims video was?
Oh yeah, Passion. No,
Passion of the Christ.
I know which one you're talking about. The one that was faked by a group in L.A.
Well, yeah, it was like the government was saying. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, tag me.
How do I?
At Derek J. Me. Yeah, the government was saying, oh, the Benghazi attacks happened because of this anger of Muslims video or something, whatever it was. And that turned out to be a lie. And some people are saying, well, this new video is another thing by the same folks. It's like, if you ever saw the movie Wag the Dog, the CIA basically makes these fake videos, and then they're like, look, this is a justification. We need to go to war. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know quite what motive might be, but it does look fake to me.
LRN.FM on any phone,
Coming
anytime.
back in
213-493-0309. That's 213-493-0309.
Welcome back to Peace News. We're live chatting with @Josie Outlaw.
One.
And @Derek J. Me, and what are you on Twitter, Davi?
I'm the Muslim agorist.
Right, @the Muslim agorist. So we're having a little conversation here about how it is to live in and be a bunch of anarchists. So you have a bucket of blood dumped on your head to resemble...
Well, stage blood. Let's make that clear, because a lot of people are like, where's
corn syrup and food coloring.
Look at all this blood.
It did look really... It did look pretty real.
It did look authentic. And there are a lot of farmers around here who like slaughter pigs and stuff, so it wouldn't be outside the range of possibilities that you would actually have blood poured on you.
Right.
But this was to signify the 260 million people murdered by their own governments.
Correct.
Or the word is democide.
Mm-hmm.
In the 20th century. So just the last 100 years, from 1900 to 2000, you're saying 260 million people have been murdered by their own governments?
Right. I mean, I can't even imagine how many more from 2000 to 2000.
Yeah, how many has it been since then?
I would imagine it's much more. But yeah.
And it was including war, right?
It was not including war. Not including.
So it was democide. It was death by, nefarious means, by domestic policy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So what's the reaction been to this video? Pretty good?
For the most part, ironically, and I knew this, and I said it to Chris before and after, the don't pay taxes is what's angering almost everyone.
That's because they're weak and they're cowards.
And I know that from and I knew that just because of the reaction to some of the other videos I released. Whenever I would mention not paying taxes or don't it's crazy what you can say to people and what actually they get angry at. Don't pay taxes and don't vote. Don't vote was I couldn't believe when I had made my.
Are you serious?
When
you're talking in a microphone that says mock the vote.
Yeah. When in my jury nullification video, I stressed that I don't vote, and that was probably the most vitriol I've received.
Oh my God!
On my other YouTube videos.
People get past it. You're voting for a new master, right? Is that how you would sum it up?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's stupid.
Absolutely.
Stupid to vote. Have some pride. realize that what you're doing is worse than worthless. You're endorsing a criminal
I just had
system.
an idea for a video. I need to write
What is it? Just spill the beans.
Oh, okay, if I say the word, it's really politically incorrect. So
this is
no,
family.
I mean really politically incorrect.
All right, don't do it then.
Okay. I mean, if I say it, you'll be like, get out.
Yeah.
So we play charades, 3 words, first word, 2 syllables.
All right.
No, just kidding.
All right. All I'll say is that when you talk about slaves, there were field slaves and there were house slaves.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
There you go. Yeah. So don't forget that.
Keep that off of Peace News.
Thank you.
We can flash, menstruation videos until the cows come home, but
right. No, and that's fine. Just remind me of that before
right.
I leave, because I don't want to forget.
I will remind you, and the chat room will remind you, and people tweeting at you will remind you.
Okay.
So we've got that base covered.
Yes.
But people were more offended, seriously, at the suggestion that people shouldn't vote and shouldn't pay taxes than they were at the fact that 260 million people are dead because of governments.
Yeah.
Like, that's amazing to me. You can lead a horse to water, but you really can't make them drink, can you?
That's true. And what surprised me, actually, was that a lot of people, and I knew it was coming, that a lot of people were going to say we hijacked it, and they kept saying perversing the message of the ALS. Like, first of all, you're saying it wrong. It's perverted, the message. But besides the fact, I actually didn't, because that video now has upwards of 20, I think it's almost 30,000 views.
Nice. In like what, one day?
No, it's like 3 days.
Nice.
It's 2.5
Still
days.
Not bad.
So
pretty awesome.
And
I don't know how I'm going to compete with that.
Well, the thing is that in the beginning of the video I described the challenge, how much they raised, what ALS is, how many people it's affecting.
Yeah, and good on you for doing that, because all of the ice bucket challenges I've seen so far, all of them, none of them describe what ALS is.
Exactly. So, and what killed me is that people are saying all of these things, and I want to come back, and I don't know how to do it without it being arrogant, but I want to come back and say, guess what? I actually described the disease, who it's affecting, how many people it's affecting yearly, and I have 30,000 views.
Yeah.
So what are you, like, how did you get the message out besides saying ALS and dump a bucket on your head? Like, what did you do?
So is the challenge supposed to, because I haven't been, thankfully I've avoided being tagged in these things, and so what's the challenges that you dump water over your head, and if you don't do it you have to pay $100 to the ALS Foundation?
You just have to make a donation of $5 or something. Like, to avoid donating, you dump a bucket of...
I contacted them and they don't take Bitcoin as far as I can tell, and so I'm not sure what to do.
Yeah, that's lame.
Yeah.
You can't give. And I was reading an article, I wonder if I have a link to it here, but it was pretty disturbing because it was basically saying that the ALS Research Foundation has received more in the last, year than it has in the last 3 years combined.
I think it's ever.
Well, they're saying it's part of this Ice Bucket Challenge thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, throwing money at a problem can help, but is not necessarily curing a disease, and often is providing an incentive for scientists to not find a disease, right? Because if you find the cure, then the money stops coming in, right?
Of course it is. Always follow the money.
Yeah, these scientists are reasreachers. There are other ways to cure ALS, is I guess what I'm speculating here. I'm not a medical professional, but just doing a little bit of research online drudged up some information that there are people who have cured themselves of this disease. And they didn't do it by sending millions of dollars to some charity organization, which I'm not for or against, but I'm just saying, like, look at the incentives.
Well, of course.
So you didn't give any money to anybody?
No.
All right, but you did get the message out about democide.
No, I made people aware of what ALS is, how many people it affects, how dangerous it is.
I'm not criticizing you.
No.
One of the best videos
No,
I've
thank
seen.
you. Oh, I'm not trying to be defensive. I'm just kind of defending myself against all of the
future attackers, the haters who are out there saying why? So why would you tell people to stop paying taxes? Let's throw them a bone there.
Oh, well, because the taxes, first of all, are extorted. They're not, you don't give them with your permission. I don't know anyone who's been asked if they'd like to pay taxes and has been like, okay, here we go.
Yes, the U.S. is considering invading Syria. Would you like to send $1,000 to support the military?
Yes, that's one of the major things.
Never been asked that.
Yeah, another issue is that they're going. It's this money is going to pay for leeches on Capitol Hill and all over the country who wear suits and ties and look professional while they murder, slaughter, sign bills.
So why do you think people are upset about you saying this? Because surely the people who are watching this video also know that the people in Congress are parasites, murderers, criminals. Why would they say...
No, the people who are commenting against that are clearly, are obviously statists.
Oh, they're statists? You don't think there are libertarians who are like, she's saying don't pay your taxes. That's irresponsible.
I don't think that
we don't know. But
I don't know.
You don't think so.
But the thing is, I know that don't pay your taxes will piss off both, people who claim to be anarchists and libertarians, as well as the statists. Because, and I'll tell you why. Because you have these people who are saying, don't tell this. I love this. Don't tell people to do what you're not going to do yourself. Like, okay, I want to just write this long monologue to them.
Wait, don't tell people not to do what you don't do yourself? Are they suggesting?
That's what every voter in the world is doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is what they're suggesting. That is what they're suggesting. And yes, I do pay the inevitable tax, like the prepared food tax, and if I go to
you can't avoid.
Exactly. And I didn't have 20 minutes on a video to explain all of this, so basically I shortened it and said, don't pay taxes.
We'll be back with more Peace News Now. Activists are waking up.
This is fun.
Yeah.
I enjoy this.
I love this too. Thank you. And I like Davi's ad. I hope that that's so much fun. The one where if you buy something from shinybadges.com,
the worms one,
you write in the comment section worms. He'll give you something weird.
Yeah.
Which I still have to find out what that is.
I still have to get a shiny badge.
Yeah, go for it. Go. Wait, do you have a police badge, like a cop block badge?
No.
Those are the ones to get.
I need a number 55. That's my thing.
Oh, 55 is taken.
Ooh.
I didn't even know 55. I'm trying to remember.
55 is probably long gone. I have like maybe 5 or 6 that are under 100 that were never claimed.
Are you serious? You have 5 or 6 that are under 100?
Yeah.
They must be really sucking.
Do you have 25?
I'll tell you what. Let me get the box.
Yeah, go get them. I'll go get my badge. Hey, the microphone that Josie is using is decorated in badges from shinybadges.com. These are not the... I don't know if you can even get these on the website. Those are ones that you can get at festivals. I think kids get them free. Things like...
what do you think about Stefan Molyneux?
I was going to get into that.
Thank
People
you.
in the chat room are talking about it. And Dottie and I did an awesome episode of the Freedom Fiends the other day talking about Stefan Molyneux.
Oh, speaking of which, Derek, are you up for a comment on Molyneux, or are you pretty saturated on that topic?
No, I'm good. I think we should go into it. The people in the chat room are still talking about it.
See, it's tough because I don't listen to him all that often because the first time I heard him, he creeped me out, and I got this weird...
Really?
Oh, wow. I have a...
Interesting. Because he kind of hates women. He's had a lot of that.
57.
And it wasn't even that
57, like Heinz 57. That's
oh, 54.
Oh my gosh! Can you hold 57 for me, please?
Yeah, you want to know what numbers I got?
Or
is 57 it? Is that the one you want?
Oh, well, hold that. Wait, no, maybe.
Yeah. So what else you got? What you got?
So these are the low numbers, and I've been holding on to these, and because they're valuable, I think. Let's do these in order. So I got 54, 57. Put that aside. 60, 61. 72, 75, 81, 82, this is more than 6, 85, 87, 74, and 79.
Wow, we got some birth years in there and stuff.
That's about 10, yeah.
How about 57?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll
set it aside for you.
What's special about 57 for you?
Oh, growing up, a bunch of us had this inside joke in high school about Heinz 57.
Okay, all right. Inside joke in high school.
Yeah, there you go.
That's for you guys.
It has a lot to do with marijuana.
Oh, all right. Cool. I like that.
It is very close genetically to tomatoes.
Cannabis is?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I've heard of cops like busting people who have tomato gardens, and they're like, that plant looks like marijuana. Like, seriously, you can't tell the difference? But, I don't know, I guess that's it.
Well, if we get into Stefan Molyneux, I don't know how much I'll have to contribute because I really don't know much about him.
Well, I mainly want to announce something.
Oh, okay. Didn't you bring him up?
No,
I said, are we going to get into
No,
Stefan?
I said, what do you think about Stefan Molyneux?
Oh, what do I think? I like him. I like him a lot. I think he stepped in it, and he needs to correct that. But otherwise, yeah, I like him. I still like him.
I have that gut instinct I've had with every single person I've ever met that always turned out to be pretty crappy.
Uh-oh. Well, here we go. We're coming back.
You can interact with other LRN listeners on our message board at forum.lrn.fm. That's forum.lrn.fm.
You're listening to Peace News with Derek J. Learn about me at my website, derekj.me. I've got all kinds of exciting media for you to check out there. I do a Bitcoin talk show on Wednesdays that's hosted live. I do Free Talk Live. I sometimes host the Freedom Beans with Davi Barker, the Shiny Badger. You can check out his website at shinybadges.com or just davibarker.com. That links to all of them. And I'm chatting in studio with Josie Wales, who's taking her hair down, getting a little more comfortable
I
today.
know. It's been up in a ponytail all day.
So you got to try out different looks when you're doing a video show, you know. I got
costume change.
You know, speaking of hair, I got my hair cut today.
And guess who was the first to notice it?
Josie noticed first, thank you. And I got my haircut and paid in Bitcoin. Yeah, that's right. You heard correct. I paid for my haircut in Bitcoin. And no, I didn't just go to some friend and say, hey, cut my hair and I'll pay you in Bitcoin. I went to a real salon. The best salon in Keene accepts Bitcoin, and they knew how to do it without any questions. Like, I was like, oh, I see you have a Bitcoin accepted here sticker. So I can pay? And they're like, yeah, give us your phone. I handed over my phone, they scanned their QR code, and printed out a receipt. Boom. It was done like that.
And guess who's getting her hair cut for the first time in years at a salon?
Oh, really? Are you going to the same place?
I'm going to.
It's Moda.
Because they accept Bitcoin.
Holla.
I was just going to say holla. Get out of my brain, Derek.
So I'm excited about the salon accepting Bitcoin. Lots of stores in Keene do accept it. In fact, we went shopping in our first trip out in downtown.
Which made me fall in love with it, and I decided, remember, I was like, I'm moving here.
Yeah, that was really cool.
And then I did.
That was really cool. I bought some incense. You can buy cigarettes and pretty much anything you want from the corner store with Bitcoin.
She's great.
Yes. So, okay, the people in the chat room are talking about Stefan Molyneux.
Ooh.
And in an episode of the Freedom Fiends recently where we dove into this topic. And there's more.
At first.
Yes, deep into this topic. And there's more. Ben Stone called people who are fans of Stefan Molyneux cultists. What was his exact term? I'm trying to look it up. He said that they're like cult followers. I don't have the exact word.
Oh, I like Ben Stone.
Yeah, I like Ben Stone too. And so it disturbed me when he was like talking about people like me who like Stefan, and he's calling us names. Like,
well, the thing is, I will tell you, before I ever was introduced to Stefan Molyneux, and Stefan, I don't know how however he would like his name pronounced.
Psychotic cultists.
Okay.
That's what Ben Stone called people who listen to Stefan.
The first time I heard him speak and saw him speak was at Anarchy in NYC. And I remember standing there and looking at him. And my friend Mike Salvi, who we all know, he's like, what? He's like, you have a strange look on your face. I was like, that guy's, is there something? I don't know. He just rubs me the wrong way.
Why? What was it? Put your finger on it.
I mean, I'm gonna have to tell you that it's my gut. And since then I've done a lot of people will send me links. Even Cantwell, He's been like, you just got to listen to him more. Just listen to him more. And he would play all of these things, and he was like, this
That sounds even more culty. I hate that because there's like this thing in cults where it's like submersion or whatever it's called.
What he said is you just have to listen. Maybe you just heard the wrong thing, or maybe you took the wrong thing out of it. So we wanted to expose.
Just listen while you sleep. Just make it into a hypnotherapy.
Like he didn't say it like that. Cantwell didn't say it like that. He was just like, well, just listen to this, or listen to this, or play this, and just kind of throw it at me.
What were your objections to what he was saying? What did you didn't like?
Well, there were a couple things. Just a lot of the way he described how you should not even disassociate yourself, but completely cut people out of your life, no matter what's happened, no matter how close you are. I'm sorry, but that's a strange thing to tell people to do.
So if you were married and your husband was beating you and I suggested that you leave him, would you think that that's unconscionable?
No, not at all.
Irresponsible?
Not at all.
Well, what
if he was advocating that someone else beat you?
What do you mean?
What if that's what he was doing?
Okay, I understand. Okay, now I see what you're getting at. No, I understand. I understand the reasoning behind what he's saying.
Yeah.
And I understand that it's a tactic. It's a tactic that I may not adapt, and you may not adapt, and people may not adapt.
I don't know that it's a tactic. I think it's a matter of fact. It's a matter of fact that people will dissociate from people who don't follow their own principles. Like, either you have those principles or you don't, and if you want to associate with people who don't have those principles, then you don't value them that much.
Maybe, but the thing is, this is from my personal experience.
Sure.
Is that I have found, there are a couple different ways you can, battle this, mass worship of the state. You can shun them completely.
Yeah.
You can ridicule them. You can convert them, or you can kill them, so they don't exist anymore.
Guess all those are all the options.
Those are a couple. There's the couple off the top of my head.
Yeah.
There are many more. However, I found I've had the most success with converting people.
I haven't been able to convert some people.
I have.
I know, and I have some success too. But I haven't defooed or left my family of origin, even though all of them are statists, even though all of them would advocate for me being thrown in a cage. That's something that's tough for me to deal with. But I've been able to disassociate with friends who want me thrown in a cage. The family thing is a little harder for me because it's like deeply ingrained. But with friends, I've been like, look, you either want me in a cage or you're going to be my friend. But it's not going to be both. See ya.
Okay, well, and I understand that. I totally understand that. But I'm only speaking from personal experience. I can't stress that enough.
It's hard to defoo.
I worked in a place where they were all insane. Like, not insane. Insane. Yeah, being a statist is a form of insanity. Absolutely. They were insane statists, and I've had fallouts with them over me going to the military recruiting centers right back of our work.
Counter recruiting or something there?
Yes. Well, not counter recruiting. I would go in and start. That's a whole other segment.
What did you do? You throw an egg?
No. There's a process on how I do it.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right. Well,
remind me,
okay.
and I'll go through the whole thing because it's it's a system. But
you're very methodical.
I am.
The things you like file things away.
I do. Well, because I don't. Because I could go off and talk about that for the next half hour.
Right. You're a good talker, so you don't want to get off on a tangent.
Right. Well, I don't always think I'm a good talker, but thank you. But
I think you're doing great.
Thank you, Dirk. But
so I was saying it's tough to defoo.
Well, and what I was saying is that I was relating it to my work, and I've had really major fallouts with especially one girl at work who was and still is a good friend of mine, and her brother was in the ROTC, and she flipped out on me because I had posted there was a Thanksgiving meme that said some of us can't be home for Thanksgiving, and it was the men in uniform.
Oh, I remember that.
And I posted it, and I said actually they could be if they really wanted to.
Yeah.
And it was just all of the girls at work against me, and I knew I had to go into work the next day, and I just said, you know what? I explained my point of view, and I said, I understand why you're upset. I won't say her name. I almost just did. I understand why you're upset. I understand that it's hitting home. It's hitting very close.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, I said this is how I feel and how I believe. You can hate me for it all you want. You can go nuts on me at work. It's fine. I still love you and I respect you.
Why?
Listen to me. Because love is the way. Why would you sing
Peace is the way?
Listen, why? And peace and love. Why would you sing "Peace is the way" to someone who was assaulting you?
Because
listen to me.
Unlike Jesus, I don't think my enemy deserves to be my friend. Like, my enemies should be destroyed.
But the thing is, they're not my enemies. They're people who don't yet.
Yeah. They're opponents, not really enemies.
Not even opponents. They just haven't.
They oppose you.
Right, but I would have opposed me, when I was 10 years old. So 10 years old up to maybe 15, 16, 17.
Yeah.
So, some of the people who have been on that side and who have been statists and mercenaries and thugs with badges.
Yeah.
Once they turn over, they're some of the best allies that we will ever have.
That's a good point.
Here's the thing. I think this is all way too black and white. I mean, like, for me, there is a very big difference between the person who I will speak to or be in the presence of and the person with whom I'll have an intimate friendship and sort of like a sort of vulnerable conversation. Like, those are two different categories of people. And there's not very much other than physically threatening me that a person could have me say, I won't even talk to you, I won't even be in your presence.
This is a contentious topic. We've got more coming up on Peace News Now.
Are you looking for an excuse to come?
Thanks, Dobby.
Sure. Oh, he locked up. Are you there?
Oh, yes, I am still here. Why did I lock up? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm right here.
I don't know. The last thing I heard was thanks, Dobby.
Yes. I said, thanks, Dobby. Thanks for being here. You rock. This conversation is awesome. I'm loving it. If you have to go at any time, by the way, feel free. I've got plenty of show notes that can cover the news.
How long's this break?
It goes for Josie. 8 minutes.
All right, I'll be back. I don't need to leave right this minute, but I'll be right back.
Okay, I'm going to put up an ad over here, and I'm going to play ads, and then I'll be back when the show starts.
$60.
Hey, I'm going to tag you. I'm going to tag you in a Facebook thread.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
And I want to show you the announcement I want to make.
Oh, okay, cool. I love that. Thanks. Also, I have an update on the fiasco of me proposing that activists be removed from the KAC.
Cool.
I thought that was a little weird. Like, if the Fiends were a 3-hour show, I would have been able to go into that, but I only did it, and then I sounded like an asshole, so whatever.
Yeah, so not the main thread, but my first comment in that thread is what I'd like to announce.
Okay, I'll pay attention to that, and I'll
be right back.
On the other side.
Method for our content. See our coverage map and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm.
Did you know coffee is the second most absorbent crop on Earth?
Smoke a cig,
Most coffee
do whatever
grocery
you want.
stores
You got
and
plenty of
chains
time.
contains banned pesticides and has a high mold content. Seriously. We're proud to partner with Camano Island Coffee Roasters to provide the best of the best coffee, BuzzBox coffee. Try a free pound today. You cover shipping. 10% of future purchases benefit our efforts to keep the gift of human freedom throughout the world. At least 100 World Vision microfinance loans. For more information, go to coffee.freetalklive.com.
More Peace News Now. It's coming up next, live after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
I also have cannabis.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, August 26, 2014. Silver is trading at $19.64 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,290 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $509. Antiwar.com reports a new push for a return to the Gaza ceasefire is making considerable progress, with both Islamic Jihad and Hamas agreeing to the idea, and the Palestinians saying that the only real sticking point is whether or not Israel will accept it. Israeli officials say that no decision has been made on the ceasefire call, and that they rejected several previous ceasefire proposals before the current one was proposed. Selling the ceasefire to Israel's cabinet is a tough matter, as the far-right security cabinet has a lot of hawks who don't want anything short of a full military conquest of the Strip. Indeed, the last ceasefire collapsed largely because Israel rejected the peace deal that was being negotiated. The U.S. and European Union have been working on a draft UN resolution calling for a new ceasefire, though it will be extremely unusual for the U.S. to introduce such a resolution without Israel's endorsement. FPP Radio News is brought to you by Roberts & Roberts Brokerage. For over 35 years, Roberts & Roberts has been a trusted source for buying and selling your investment-grade precious metals. They now take Bitcoin for purchasing precious metals so you can turn your profits into a long-term investment. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on investing. 800-874-9760. Reuters reports, family, friends, and supporters of Michael Brown celebrated the life of the teenager slain by a police officer in Ferguson, Missouri, in a music-filled funeral service ringing with calls for peace and police reforms on Monday. Brown's body lay in a black and gold casket at the Friendly Temple Missionary Baptist Church, topped with the St. Louis Cardinals baseball cap he was wearing when he was killed on August 9th. People jammed inside the modern red brick church and gathered outside on Dr. Martin Luther King Drive in St. Louis for the celebration, a markedly different scene from the violent protests that rocked the St. Louis suburb after the police shooting of the unarmed 18-year-old Brown. Brown slaying has focused global attention on the state of race relations in the United States. Police and demonstrators in Ferguson clashed nightly for more than a week, with authorities coming under fire for mass arrest and the use of heavy-handed tactics and military gear. The teenager's coffin was surrounded by photos of him as a child, graduating from school and smiling in his baseball cap. Spirited gospel music by a choir and horn players filled the sanctuary, and mourners clapped their hands and danced in the aisles. Readings from the Bible were met with whoops and cheers. Mike Montgomery, a city employee who took the day off from work to attend, said, "It was real spiritual," adding, "I usually hear more mourning at a funeral. I think the family wanted a celebration. That's why they had the upbeat music." ExpressCoin is the best choice for buying Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dogecoin, and more. ExpressCoin prides themselves on their customer service, so much so that the back end on the website should allow them to be even more focused on your needs. Get your cryptocurrencies with money order, check, wire transfer, or cash deposit. Get started at expresscoin.fppradio.com. That's expresscoin.fppradio.com. The AP reports, Amazon is buying streaming platform Twitch Interactive for $970 million in cash as it seeks to take part in video gaming's growth as an online spectator sport. Twitch is a multi-channel online network built for a generation of people who not only enjoy playing video games, but find it entertaining to watch others who might impart tricks and tips for excelling at their favorite games. Amazon's purchase is an acknowledgement that gameplay video feeds are increasingly lucrative. Twitch had 55 million unique visitors in July of this year, up from 20 million in July 2012. Most visited the Twitch.tv website to watch other people play live or recorded games and competitions interspersed with advertising. Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos said in a statement, "Broadcasting and watching gameplay is a global phenomenon, and Twitch has built a platform that brings together tens of millions of people who watch billions of minutes of games each month." The deal is the latest example of Amazon expanding into new commercial arenas. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
It's the Onion Radio News.
Yes, a new crispy snack cracker will ease the crushing pain of modern life. The dull, all-consuming ache of present-day existence will be slightly alleviated when Nabisco's breakthrough TC McCrispy's line of crackers arrives today. Available in regular, Garden Ranch, and Zesty Cheddar, the new crackers will flood consumers' bodies with fat, salt, and starch to produce a pleasing sensation of warmth and nourishment, momentarily freeing them from a relentless, crushing sense of profound grief. Mel Krychak is Nabisco's Director of Corporate Communications.
Our tasty new snack cracker will, if only for a few lovely moments, significantly lessen the hideously bleak and empty torment of modern life that festers in every solitary soul.
Nabisco expects most despair-riddled consumers to eat an entire box in one sitting. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
This is Peace News, and you are listening live at lrn.fm, or on YouTube, or at dirkj.me, or at PeaceNewsNow.com/live, or all the other great places this show airs. Thanks so much to everyone who rebroadcasts. And if you're not listening live, then it's not Tuesday, August 26th, 2014. It's 11 p.m. here on the East Coast in Keene in the Shire, where Josie Wales and I are broadcasting. You can check out Josie's work at josietheoutlaw.com. And you can also tweet her. Go ahead and tweet her right now. Her Twitter handle is
Josie the Outlaw 1.
Josie the Outlaw 1. And Davi is here. He's at the Muslim Agorist and DaviBarker.com. So, Davi, in the last segment, what were we talking about? Stefan and this. Did we mention Stefan in the last segment?
Yeah, we did.
We definitely talked about it.
Yeah,
okay.
we progressed a lot from there, but yeah.
All right, cool. Because we were doing a lot of chatter over break and stuff, so I get confused. So, Davi, you had something special you wanted to announce. Go ahead.
Yeah, so many of you, especially in the Shire, may remember years ago when the Shire Society Declaration was signed, there was this huge sort of intellectual property uproar between the Shire and L. Neil Smith.
Yes.
And it's because the Shire Society Declaration is a derivative work of the New Covenant by L. Neil Smith, and he was very upset about this. And so my approach when this happened was to say, I'm not going to argue with this about this. Just tell me what the damages are, and let's take it to arbitration. We both advocate the same sort of method of dispute resolution, and if you just tell me what the damages are, we'll put them in an escrow, we'll hash it out, we'll find an arbiter, we'll do it like we always say we're going to do it. And he never took me up on this offer, but what I did was I pledged $2 per signature because he charges a $2 filing fee for signing his document. And so I reasoned that for every signature that the Shire Society Declaration got, the physical signatures, that was $2 L. Neil Smith didn't get. And so that seemed like a reasonable thing to put in escrow if we were going to take it to arbitration. Now that was years ago, so I'm officially, publicly rescinding that offer. Right? So the statute of limitations has passed. This offer for L. Neil Smith is off the table. But I still want my voluntary dispute resolution precedent. So I'm going to take that $200 that I pledged for that dispute, and I'm going to say I will give it to either Stefan Molyneux or True Shibes if they will agree to settle this dispute in the way that we all advocate.
Wow. That would be awesome. I mean, do you have a way to set that up? How could they even get in contact?
Well, I just tagged them on Facebook. I have their email. I have Stefan's email. I don't have True Shibes' email, but I'm sure someone does.
I may be able to get a hold of him.
You can connect these two?
Maybe.
All right, let's do it.
Not for Molyneux.
I can't speak for the two parties involved what their claims are going to be, but it looks to me like Stefan is claiming threats were made, which is a serious accusation, and True Shibes has a YouTube channel that they've lost access to, which is also potentially a violation. And so I would like to see this disputed before a third party, transparently in front of everyone, so that we can see this thing settled and we can stop sort of swarming around it like gadflies.
Who would be their arbiter?
They would have to decide that.
Okay. Well, I always thought it would be great to have a dispute resolution organization of the future.
Yeah.
And the way it would work is like people dial in on Skype. You've got a bunch of different options for what kind of judge you want. You can look at their different reputations and past cases and stuff, and then say, okay, this one looks good. You choose.
Well, we can't start building that until we start actually taking our disputes to this system. I would recommend Stefan Kinsella because he is such an expert in intellectual property. I would also recommend George Donnelly because he's been talking about setting up this dispute resolution of the future for a while. But it's not up to me. It's up to the parties in dispute.
I would, just from knowing Larkin Rose and seeing how objective he can be, I would nominate him. He'd probably hate me for saying that, but I would nominate Larkin Rose because he's not going to pull any punches either way.
And I would go Ben Stone because I think he's also a guy who's got his head.
Ben Stone might have to recuse himself at this point.
Well, yeah. Stands on this issue already, so he's no good.
I think
generally he would be a good choice.
Larkin Rose would be my nomination.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he'd go for it or not.
So I don't know. I want them to resolve their dispute peacefully the way that we all imagine the future will be. But I've got $200 on it. Whether that goes to the arbiter or it goes to the winning party, I don't care. But I want my precedent.
We set up a fundraiser, or not we, or whoever sets up a fundraiser devoted to, all of the this debate. Tons and tons and tons of people would donate to that.
Yeah, and Davi, you're already throwing $200 at this. I mean, you're obviously putting your money where your mouth is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, this is the future I want to see, and if I have to pay for it, I mean, this is what Stefan is always saying. If you believe in these principles, throw your money behind it. So here we go.
And not just 50 cents, or else you may get scolded.
Or else there may be 2 podcasts scolding you for your lack of principle.
That's funny. I was thinking about that today when I was like, the podcasts I do, I'm like generally, I'm like, give me money, give me $10, give me $50, give me some serious money, right? If you're gonna ask for something, ask big. But I was like, with all the viewers, everyone could just kick in like 50 cents or $1 if you like the podcast and you're like, oh, I like this podcast, good podcast today. Throw me $1 in Bitcoin because I don't take any war dollars, and that would do really well. I mean, that would be fine.
Imagine if you had the viewers that Stefan Molyneux did.
Well, I don't need big numbers.
This is what I'm saying is how ridiculous it would be for you to rebuke 50 cents. I'm sorry, but if all of his million viewers donated 50 cents, he probably wouldn't be crying as bad.
Well, the issue with that is, and I think people didn't give Stefan a fair shake on this one, is if you send someone $2 via PayPal, that all gets eaten up in fees because it costs money to take out.
Isn't it a percentage?
No, it's a percentage plus the flat fee. So it's like $1.25 first of all to get your donations out, and then it's like 30, or 10% or something off of that, or another percent.
$1.35.
Even if it's 1%, when you send someone $2 and then they have to pay like $1 to get it out, I mean, you're really that's stupid. It's a pain, and it's like don't send it, or send it in Bitcoin, and they can get all the money.
Well, how about if they didn't know that? I mean, I can't.
For the record, I'll give it to them in whatever currency they decide that they want. I'll give them it in Bitcoin or silver or even war dollars. I don't mind. Whoever they're going to, I'll give it to them in the currency they want.
So what would this money go towards? The winner?
Sure.
Who was most wronged?
Maybe a portion of it needs to go to an arbiter. I don't know how a free market court system is going to look, but I'm willing to pay for it.
Those guidelines will probably have to be set up ahead of time.
Yeah.
So people know where their money's going.
But yeah, I imagine this as an incentive to the parties who think that they're right, that if it would go to them, they might be serious about doing it this way.
So there's a bounty.
There's a bounty. There's a bounty on justice. I don't know who's right. I just want to see all the facts on the table.
I got a feeling if Stefan Molyneux thinks that there's more than 50 cents coming at him, he may just bite.
Like, we're just paying for the ability to see all the facts. Like, I want to know more about this, and if I want to know more, I have to put my money where my mouth is. So I guess there's
got to pay for your entertainment, Bob.
I guess there's got to be some sort of fundraiser for this here. Like, are you heading this, Davi? Is that your idea?
If other people want to pledge, I'll tell you what. If people email me and they pledge amounts, I'll keep track of it. I don't want to like open a Bitcoin wallet or open a PayPal account or open a Kickstarter or anything like that. But if people send me pledges, I'll keep track of it.
How will they send you pledges? Tweet?
Will you
email?
have the documents? Will you have them?
Gmail?
Yeah, send me Davi at bitcoin.bombs.com. If you want to pledge money to this, then yeah, I'll just keep track of it. You'll be on your honor to actually pay it if it actually happens, but I'll have your email and your confirmation. So
he can find you.
Yeah. I'm obviously not going to enforce this, but we'll let the market enforce it. It'll be your reputation on the line if you pledge money and you'll pay. And
The gauntlet has been thrown.
Yeah. Make Gmail account today and send your pledges to Davi at bitcoin.bombs.com.
There you go.
How's Bitcoin Not Bombs been doing, by the way?
We're doing good. We're going to be at Coins in the Kingdom.
Rock on!
Ooh,
Coins
yeah.
in the Kingdom. Let's talk about Coins in the Kingdom and how we can incentivize justice, plus a story about the Miami police saying cameras kill cops.
Ross Ulbricht was arrested by the FBI in 2013 and charged with victimless crimes in relation to allegedly operating the
I just want to tell
Bitcoin-based
Davi, that's a
Silk
true
Road
story,
black
you
market.
know, that the Miami police union boss said that arming cops with cameras will get cops killed. That he actually said that. I don't know if you heard saw this already. But
I read an article today that people are upset. There's this group that invented nail polish that discovers if there's roofies in your drink. So if you have this nail polish, you can put it in your drink, and it'll change colors if there's roofies in it.
I saw that earlier.
There's a bunch of feminists upset because they think it promotes rape culture.
Oh yeah, of course it does.
What? I got a weird rape culture story that I wasn't even. I put it at the total bottom of the list because it's just doesn't make any sense. But here, headline: Car Insurer unveils plan for pink zones, so male drivers don't kill all the women.
That was a joke. Wasn't that a joke?
I hope so. I don't know. It's a Liberty Viral.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's a good guy.
Okay.
Is it like a female-only lane? What is it?
Yeah. So it's got to be a joke, but it's from, let's see, a female-focused car insurers. Let me see if I can get someone real from this article. It's Washington Examiner. Is that real? I'm not sure.
Is anything real
yeah. One of the weird things about the internet is, like, so many stories are, like, from The Onion now. Everyone's their own Onion. And then all the real news stories sound like Onion articles, so it's hard to tell the difference.
I know.
It's true. Reality is merging with satire all the time.
Yeah, so no, this appears to me to be a real website. WashingtonExaminer.com. The article was published August 18th. Headline, Don't let American feminists or comedians see this. Perhaps the most sexist car insurance company I've ever heard of.
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
Until today. Sheila's Wheels in Britain unveiled last week its ideal highway with bright pink painted lanes just for the ladies. And that's no joke. Sheila's spokesman, yeah, I gotta research this. Pinkzones.com is their website. Here's what it looks like. So you know we're not lying. Download high-res images. Sheila's Wheels unveils pink zones, gender-split roads. A proposal to create safe, new, women-only lanes in Britain's most dangerous roads.
That sounds like the most dangerous kinds of roads.
Yeah, just women drivers?
Because women can't drive.
Well, according to...
I mean, isn't this kind of like Asian-only roads? Like, what kind of stereotypes are we trafficking in here?
Yeah, that would be horribly... It's, like, horribly sexist. I don't know if we even want to get into that story. I just thought it was interesting.
Like, they'd be
I can't believe it's real. I can't believe it's real.
Look.
This is real life.
References for further reading. There's like, if this is satire, they did a pretty thorough job of.
They were like, we're not going half-ass, bitches.
Yeah, we've got.
I'm glad they came up with a symbol other than the female bathroom insignia.
Yeah. A woman.
Are they gonna paint the other roads blue?
Flippy hair. Oh, the other roads are black, like your soul. Oh, you're a man.
Like my coffee.
I don't know what's going on with my camera. It's like getting fuzzy or something. Okay, we got Nathan calling in.
Yay.
And we're coming back in 10 seconds. Hey, Nathan, you there? Nathan.
Hello?
Nathan, can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, that's going to be a problem. You're muted.
PNN.FM.
This is Peace News. We are live, bringing you stories about Stefan Molyneux, how to convert. Oh, we didn't get to that. That's what we were going to get to.
Yeah.
How to convert your average Joe. Josie worked with some people who were statists, and they had a problem with some of her opinions. And you converted them, made them anarchists.
Well, no.
How'd you do that?
That's not true. I did not convert them into anarchists.
Right,
I
wishful
opened
thinking.
their mind. I planted the seed, and it's germinating and growing.
Yuck.
Yeah. I got past the initial anger and just vitriol and.
Okay, so you weren't angry at them anymore.
No, they weren't angry at me for posting for posting and having my beliefs and my convictions and doing what I do, basically. My tactic, especially when it comes to people who I'm around on a daily basis, and people I care about, is to never hold back. I never, censor myself.
You're also very loving. Like you emphasize that you're gonna love somebody and show that love, even if they're being pretty nasty at you.
Yes, for the
Is that
most part.
one of your tactics to win them over, to show them like, I'm not affected by your nastiness.
Well, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a tactic. It's just how I am.
Yeah,
and how
like
I
a
act.
Jedi.
Well, I mean,
Doesn't work here.
it's not like I don't throw it right back at them. However, after some time and some cooling off period, and them understanding that I'm not some psycho, extremist, radical, want to go and just shoot random people in order to.
Do your coworkers complain about your tattoos? Because your tattoos are pretty out there.
Yeah, no, none of them ever have.
But they can see your tattoos, right?
Absolutely.
It's not like they've been hidden.
Right.
So you've got obedience is not a virtue.
Correct.
Right on your chest.
Right.
Aren't people going to say hey, wait a minute, obedience is totally a virtue?
No, actually, at the most recent place I worked, there was an older woman who it was kind of cut off, and she said, she's like, I like that tattoo. What does that say? Obedience is a virtue?
Oh,
and
God.
Said, no, and I said,
wow.
I said, actually, it says obedience is not a virtue. And she stopped, and at first she looked a little, I don't even know what the word is, just perplexed. And then
short-circuiting.
No, but that it was an older woman, and then she goes, I like that more now. That I know, because it had to sink in.
Yeah, I guess some people don't even think about their obedience.
Especially because people are raised on, and a lot of people, especially in the United States, are Catholic. The Catholic Christian is pretty predominant, and I would say Catholicism, Judaism, Christianity, that kind of thing is pretty predominant in the United States, and a lot of that is based on obedience and
yes, obedience to God.
Yes. To a God. They say the God and the one and only God, but it is a God. It's an idol.
Or God.
I don't think people can make that distinction, though. I feel like most people, when they're in Sunday school learning obedience as a virtue, they're obeying, teachers and priests. So.
Well, I mean.
And parents. Don't forget, I had this one drilled into me.
Honor thy mother and thy father.
Yep, commandment number 4, I think is.
It is number 4.
Oh, Jesus. It's going to Sunday school.
Actually, it was Moses, but okay.
Yeah, it was Moses when he was on Mount Sinai.
Thank you, the Muslim agorist. Yeah, I went to Sunday school, and I had to learn the commandments, and one of them was honor thy mother and thy father, and I was really against that. Even though I respect my parents, think they're great, I was like, I've seen other parents, and they suck. And if kids are obeying them, then they're doing it wrong. They should disobey those parents. And
well, we need to have a national conversation about what the heck the word honor means anyway. Like when people say honor the troops, like do you honor the troops? I don't even know what that word means in that
I
context.
honor the troops by trying to end war.
Right, so what if honoring your parents is calling them on their S?
Do you have a no swearing rule?
Like, yeah, what's happening here? We're not in Sunday school, bud. Let's go.
I'm thinking freedom fiends.
Right. This show is after 10 p.m.
Okay. So yeah, what if honoring your parents is calling them on their shit?
Yes. I think that is honoring them. And honoring your friends that way, too. I mean, like, holding your friends to account. I don't know. I did this recently. I talked about this on Freedom Fiends, like you brought up, where I was calling my friends on their shit because there are some activists here at the Keene Activism Center who've trashed the place. And I was like, you guys, we're supposed to be setting a good example here. And we make an agreement to each other that we're going to clean up after ourselves. And when we don't, I'm calling you on it. And I'm getting a lot of flack from some, but then in others it's like, hey, no, you're actually supposed to do that. So, I don't know. I still feel like I'm in the right here. I still feel like I'm justified, but it still feels like I'm being an asshole.
I know. I haven't felt that. Well, this is a topic for another night. I haven't felt justified in jumping in yet because I'm very new to this.
Justified in jumping in and being like, you are doing something bad.
Right.
Okay.
Just because I don't...
You just want to be like, I'm going to go with the flow.
No, it's not that. It's that I don't know this. I just moved here 5 days ago.
You
so
don't like show up and then start stirring trouble.
Right. Like, I love you, but I also don't know. Like, I haven't been here for a long time. I really don't know. So
yeah, it is
I just know that it's a mess, and I hope to help clean it up. But that's another subject for another day. That's irrelevant.
It is. It's true. So we got peaceful resistance stories to blow through because we like pretty much ignored them in the first hour. So let's just hit these real quick. First of all, we got Sheila's Wheels. And this one's really weird. I'll just fly through it. If you go to pinkzones.com, you can see what this British car insurance company thinks is a really good idea. Painting roads to be pink and allowing only women to drive on them. I guess it's going to have to introduce a whole new police force.
You know what? It's also going to mean that the DMV or whatever the equivalent is going to have to make a distinction between sex and gender.
Ooh, that's interesting. Yeah, like what about all the transgender folks? Are they allowed to drive on this road? Are they just as dangerous or more dangerous? I mean, it should be based on statistics, right? So,
well, if it's based on statistics, then you should be able to throw other things in, like certain cars, like maybe only expensive cars in this lane, only cheap cars in this lane. Did I lose you?
No, I'm here. Here's what they say. Female-focused car insurer, blah, blah, blah. The proposal came as a result of a number of reports showing how women are vulnerable on UK roads. Figures from the Department for Transportation, that must be their equivalent, released in 2012 show men were involved in about 120,000 traffic accidents compared with women at 70,000. So really,
so less women get in less accidents.
Correct. So they need their own lane because they're victimized by men who are bad drivers apparently. But the statistics say 53% of women involved in a traffic accident are badly injured, compared to 38% of men. So
I can't believe people think this way. People have flown off the rails here.
Yeah, seriously. And this is an insurance company. They're supposed to be good with numbers and like rational thought. Anyway, that's not the case because usually insurance is mandated by the government, so they don't have to compete or be smart. We've got a story about a Miami-Dade police union boss who claims that body cams place cops' lives at risk.
The warning sign.
And I promise I will be coming back with that story. I won't forget about that one. I've got a 30-second clip from this guy. It's ridiculous. It looks like a mob boss. Of course he is. Quite like.
Factor was that I wanted to have the same number of patrol officers on the street that we have today.
The Miami-Dade Police Benevolent Association firing back about the proposal, saying public safety is paramount, and these proposed cuts will have a negative impact.
If the mayor's not going to provide security, then my recommendation as an experienced law enforcement officer for nearly 40 years,
hey Nathan,
is buy yourself an attack dog, put bars on your windows and doors,
yeah, can you hear me?
Get yourselves some firearms.
Yeah, but there's like a video playing over here. Yeah, there is a video.
Bottom line, Mayor Jimenez wants the union.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can.
Okay, what was the problem before?
I don't know. Echo testing service, and it shows my mic worked normally. So was there no sound, or was there garbled sound?
I heard you perfectly clearly, but you couldn't hear me.
I couldn't hear you?
Yeah, I was talking to you, and you were like, hello, hello, I don't hear anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not sure what happened now.
Well, I can hear you. You're a little bit garbled, but I don't know. Are you on a hardline connection?
I'm on Skype on my computer like normal. Is there any difference?
Yeah, it's like, internet-y, choppy.
Internet-y?
Yeah.
Is tomorrow Wednesday?
Yes.
All right. Are you gonna? Okay.
Is that a good thing? Why? What's tomorrow?
Wednesday is Chris Cantwell Day now.
Ooh, breakfast buffet
Yeah.
at the Keene State College dining tomorrow. Wow. Oh my gosh. $5.50 for a breakfast buffet. I am going to that.
What time do you think?
It starts at 10. Let's go at 10.
Okay.
That's another one of the cool things about living in Keene. There's a group, we're getting another call. Do you want to be on with Liberty Phoenix, Nathan?
Yeah,
I'll leave it up to you.
The connection.
Yeah. Let's reject his call and then add him to the call. How do I do that? Liberty Phoenix. Okay, add. Hey, LP.
Hey, guys.
Hey, oh, you sound nice. Nathan, why don't you get a microphone like LP?
That's nice and clear.
Yeah.
What microphone does Liberty Phoenix have?
Yeah, what microphone do you have, Liberty Phoenix?
This is a Samsung Q1U.
Is that what Dobby's using?
The Audio Technica. Nathan, the Audio Technica is only $60.
This microphone was only $40, I think. It was the one name of it I used.
Well, okay, that sounds pretty good, but you need to get a better connection or something, or why don't you reconnect to your internet and then call me back or something? I don't know. There's got to be some way to...
I'll go ahead and reset all my routers and relog on my computer.
Yeah, please try that, because I'd love to have you on, but if it sounds like this, I can't.
Okay.
All right, rock on.
Maybe it was Nathan that was messing up the Skype call last night, because I had Nathan and Shinobi on last night.
You had Shinobi on?
Yeah.
Shinobi's never called into my show.
Well, I had to, I invited him personally.
Oh, okay. Well, all right, I'll do that next time. Shinobi, you're invited. Call in. I tell everyone call in. Okay, we're coming back in 15 seconds. What do you want to talk about, LP?
Josie Wales' inspiration of the Government Bucket Challenge.
Okay, cool.
The Government Bucket Challenge. I've never heard it called that before.
The Government Bucket. All right. Here we go.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Welcome back. This is Peace News. We're chatting in studio at PeaceNewsNow Studios with Josie Wales, or JosieTheOutlaw.com. You can tweet at her JosieOutlaw1.
Josie the Outlaw.
JosieTheOutlaw1. That's a long Twitter handle. You got to shorten that somehow.
Fine.
And you can interact with us. You can call into the show. 443-424-8347 is our call-in line. On our Skype, Skyping us at Peace News Now is Liberty Phoenix. What's going on, Liberty Phoenix?
Hey, everybody. I just wanted to call in and thank Josie and Chris for inspiring what I like to call the government bucket list, or the government bucket challenge, I should say.
Yeah?
I like the name.
Everyone has seen the Ice Bucket Challenge. Everybody has seen, well, perhaps not everybody, but anybody who's anybody has seen Josie's Ice Bucket Challenge in her white T-shirt. And
Did you do that on purpose, by the way? Were you like, oh, and I should wear a white T-shirt?
Oh, I wanted to name it something that would draw in people.
Oh, right. It says something in the title that you're wearing a white shirt.
Right, but I did have two. I had like two shirts underneath and a sports bra. Like I was completely layered up underneath, and I had a bucket of blood poured on my head. So
you're really disappointed, the fellas.
Oh, I got a couple of those.
I didn't even pick up on that.
Well, I did my own bucket challenge today, and I kind of incorporated Josie and Chris's idea, as well as the Gaza bucket challenge, the rubble bucket. So it was a mixture of blood and rubble, which is exactly what government brings us. Blood and rubble.
Blood and rubble.
That's horrible.
Wow. Do you have the video? Can you send it to us?
It's linked in the chat room right now.
Oh, okay.
At lrn.fm.
Excellent. Yeah. In the chat room. Do you have a website for your podcast, Liberty Phoenix?
We do. It's unityevolved.com. You can go there and it'll have a link to the SoundCloud page.
Do you have your video up on your website?
I don't believe it is yet.
Do that.
I was rushing today. I mean, I literally got the inspiration today and was like, let's make this happen.
You dumped a bucket of gravel on your head?
Say again?
You dumped a bucket of gravel on your head?
Yeah, it was a bunch of rocks and stuff. Yeah, it really was not that difficult at the moment because I get pretty fired up in the video, and it made it quite easy to deal with the rocks and everything hitting.
I will definitely agree with that because I was a little apprehensive right before it was happening, and when I was talking about it, I was like, "Screw it! This is for a message, and this is to make a point." But then when I was getting ready, I was like, "I know that this is going to be stuck in my hair and all over my body for God knows how long, no matter how many showers I take." And from standing in it for a while, my feet are soaked and my hands are still a little red. But it didn't actually. It wasn't as bad as I was a little nervous about. Going
what did you guys use? Because I used a mixture of Hawaiian Punch, chocolate syrup, Caro syrup, and red and green food coloring.
You know what? Yeah, that's pretty close to what I started out with. But the amount that we needed to get on my head, because I have very thick hair, and a lot of it was going to be stuck in there, and I knew that. And there was no way. We tried it a couple different times, and I had this great mixture that looked just like blood, and it was
very, very thick. Yeah.
It was it was chocolate syrup, maple syrup.
It looked clearer than that.
No, that was the original mixture.
Okay.
But then it didn't work, so I actually ended up going to Party City in Keene and getting a couple gallons of stage blood.
Okay.
So
okay, how's your podcast going, Liberty Phoenix?
It's going really well.
You started this after Pork Fest, right?
No, this was about sometime in March, I believe. It actually started coming together.
Oh, okay. So it's been going on since well before Pork Fest. Tell me more.
We're on episode 12. We just recorded that yesterday. It's going strong.
Do you have a regular schedule, or do they come out at random?
We've had some issues with uploading on a regular basis. We record every Monday around 8 p.m. Central, and Hef takes the recordings and does his magic, and they generally come out between 1 to 2 to maybe 3 days.
What kind of stuff do you talk about on your podcast?
Oh, you name it. I mean, we cover the whole gambit. It started out as pretty much just Hef and I talking about what was going on. Our very first episode, we had a local friend of mine that made his own cop block recording when he had gotten pulled over.
Right.
And we've covered polyamory, we've covered Ferguson, we've covered different types of New Age philosophy type ideas, such as how to charge your chakras and such.
What? Sorry, I won't make fun of you right now. I'll wait till your show and then I'll call in and make fun of you then. So, okay, that sounds great. What's your website again?
UnityEvolved.com.
All right, anything else you want to share tonight?
That's about it. Thanks a lot, Josie, for inspiring the government bucket challenge.
Oh, well, thank you for liking it.
Cool, and thank you, Liberty Phoenix, for sounding so nice and lovely with your high-quality microphone and Skype connection. Really appreciate those calls. Also, we might be having Nathan join us to chat a little bit. He had a connection problem. So let's return to this story about the Miami-Dade Police Union boss who claims body cams put cops' lives at risk. Oh, yes. I'm not joking. Already coping.
Well,
what?
I could see it. If it recorded them doing something that was so outrageous that vigilantes hunted them down, maybe the camera does put the officer's life at risk.
No, there are no vigilantes. That's illegal, Davi, and so it doesn't happen.
Oh, well, if it's illegal, it never happens.
Right.
They should just outlaw killing cops.
Right, the problem solved.
In any situation ever.
Except
of course.
for that reminds me. Do you hear those strange stories about a person who like killed a dog cop, like the dog cop, and then they get like life in prison for killing a cop,
Killing an officer? Yeah.
killing an officer, and then the cops are killing dogs like every other day. Like, oh, he looked at me funny, I had to shoot him. It's really
He was
weird.
mini, and it might have been a grenade.
Yeah, seriously. So, all right, here's a story from photographyisnotacrime.com where Carlos Miller writes, already coping with the never-ending plethora of lurking dangers that keep cops fearing for their lives, the president of the Miami-Dade Police Union is outraged that the county mayor now wants cops to start wearing body cams, a move, he says, can cost that officer his or her life. John Rivera, president of the Police Benevolent Association, also said that the introduction of body-mounted cameras, quote, will distract officers from their duties and hamper their ability to act and react in dangerous situations. If anything, the cameras would hamper their ability to write fabricated police reports, not to mention physically abuse citizens. After all, the Miami-Dade Police Department not only arrested Carlos Miller for recording in 2012, as well as arrested another man for recording earlier this year, but also attacked a 14-year-old boy carrying a puppy on a beach, placing him in a chokehold. This is caught on video, and then gave the teen after the teen gave them, quote, dehumanizing stares. So just for staring at the officers, a 14-year-old boy was placed in a chokehold. And that, of course, is the exact reason why Rivera is trying to block the introduction of body-mounted cameras into the largest law enforcement agency in the southeast United States. He could do without the accountability. I think we know where this story is going.
Oh, I just want to say a couple things.
Go ahead.
If you would go back.
Oh, I'll
to
bring
that.
it back up? Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Go for it. So, what's on your mind?
What's killing me about this? I want to go back. If you scroll up towards the back where you were reading in the beginning. I just want to make sure I hit all the points. Okay. Let's see.
So,
Oh,
I'm
sorry,
doing a screen
it's
share so
coming,
the audience
yeah.
can see as well.
Okay.
So, go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so if we go, where it says, we're not going to have to go back to it, but
summarize your point.
Basically, I don't understand how no one challenged him and all of his points, asking for proof or explanations as to how it would, quote unquote, distract them from their duties, hamper their ability to act. All of it.
Yeah, let's look for some proof. Let's get some evidence. And let's get Nathan in here, too. He'll be on the line when we return for the final segment of Peace News.
I love My Magic Mud.
Sorry
I
about
drink
last night.
a lot
Sorry.
of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagic.com.
Derek, can you hear me?
Hey, Nathan. Yes, I can hear you, and you
am I the
sound...
same, or?
No, you sound crystal clear. You sound 120% better.
Okay, because the video that you were playing just now sounded really scratchy, and Mark was just, I couldn't hear him at all. So.
Oh, wait.
Okay.
When I play this?
My life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions.
Yeah, that sounds terribly tinny. What is that?
That's the ads.
Huh. On Free Talk Live, they sound really clear, but for some reason it sounds tinny.
I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship
So, but you can hear them. You hear what ad this is, right?
completely involuntary.
I can hear them, yeah, but your voice on the ad and your voice there sound different.
Yeah. It should. It should
when
sound
I'm
a little.
listening-
It should sound a little different. If I were using like super professional quality equipment like Free Talk Live uses, then it would sound perfect. But you know, I'm using Peace News Now studio quality.
Okay.
I'm doing my best, man.
Doing your best with what you got.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, both your voice and those ads are playing off of the same computer. And I have an external audio card plugged in to a USB in that laptop where both your sound and LRN is coming through. So I don't know why.
Those little USB sound cards where you plug in your headphones.
Yeah. But I don't plug in headphones into it. It's just a USB sound card. And I don't know what I could do. Maybe like change the cables or something. I really don't know. I could. I don't know. I really don't get it. I need a real audio professional to come and just fix it. I don't know what I'm doing. I just try and put on a show.
Well,
anyway, what is it?
It's been a good show so far.
Thank you.
Hey, Josie.
Oh, you're muted.
Sorry, I'm muted. Hi.
Josie says hi. So, what did you want to talk about, Nathan? Were you on earlier? Was that just Liberty Phoenix? We just heard you on the break.
No, I was on momentarily, and well, I wanted to talk about Stefan Molyneux, and unfortunately, Davi left. I've been meaning to ask Davi why he hasn't joined the Caliphate yet, but
I'm here.
A chance tonight.
Davi can hear you.
I'm here now.
You're here?
Yeah.
God, I thought you were gone.
No, right here.
Why did you?
I'm already a member of a caliphate.
Which one?
The Caliphate of Me.
What's the caliphate?
Okay.
What's a caliphate?
I accept that. I accept that answer.
Caliphate is like a leader, isn't it?
Well, it means like vice regent or whatever. Like the concept is the person who
president.
I don't know. It's sort of like a president, but the idea is that they're sort of like here present ruling instead of like a prophet or a god, right? Like I don't know. So like I am the owner of this nervous system, and it's on loan from God, and so I'll be in charge of it for the time being.
Well, it's interesting because I was telling Mark the other day that there was like an Islamic uprising in the Sudan 100 years ago when the British were there. Because I was trying to tell him that these kind of things have been going on for a while, and a lot of the language that I was reading sounded really similar. Like he was Ahmad or Mahmoud Ahmed, I think, and he was talking about being a caliphate and all that.
Hold that thought, Nathan. We're coming back.
Facebook.lrn.fm.
Welcome back to the final segment of Peace News. In the studio, Josie Wales, Derek J., Davi Barker. Now, calling in on our Skype line is Nathan. Go ahead with your thoughts, Nathan.
Hello.
You're on.
Well, I'd like to talk about Stefan Molyneux, but if I could ask Davi to enlighten me a little bit, just real quick on the history of the Caliphate. What's the idea behind it? Like I was reading about this modest war in the Sudan in the 1880s, and the leader Muhammad Ahmad, he said the quotes that I read of him are similar to quotes that you hear from the I forget his name, the general leading today. Like he's under God, he wants to unite Muslims in the Caliphate. Where does this idea come from?
So in the Quran, in the Arabic language, caliphate comes from a word that means to be in your place. It means like a proxy, right? And the only place it appears in the Quran is that God refers to Adam as the proxy, which means that essentially Adam is given stewardship of the earth. It's that concept that you find in the Bible. And so after Muhammad's death, the leaders who came after him called themselves caliphs or caliphs, as saying like we're the ruler now that Muhammad is gone, where we are ruling in his stead as his proxy, right? And so that became the term for an Islamic leader, and it has been that ever since. But I use the term for myself. I was put in this body, and it's mine for the time being. I am I say on loan from God, right?
Right, but you're not a proxy for yourself.
No, it's the notion. I use it in the same notion that it was said to Adam, that like I was given stewardship over these molecules that I'm moving around.
Is this a Muslim thing or just a Middle Eastern thing or both?
Well, it's the Arabic language. You would probably find it in among Christian Arabs using it for the concept of mankind or Adam being given the stewardship of Earth, but I don't think that they would use, or the nature and the animals and that sort of thing. I don't think that they would use it as a political title.
Josie's got to go, so I want to plug her websites.
Oh.
JosieTheOutlaw.com.
Correct.
@JosieTheOutlaw1.
Correct.
and Brutalist Media Productions.
Yes, that's the new channel.
All
Sorry,
right.
yeah, that's the new channel.
All right, say goodbye, Josie.
Goodbye. Love you all.
Bye, Josie. We'll see you on the internets.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.
Whatever. Okay, bye.
All right, peace. All right, so caliphate, what is that? Is that a Middle Eastern thing or a Muslim thing or both?
Well, I guess the first generations after Muhammad's life were the first ones to use this term as a political concept, and so I would probably say it's only used by Muslims as a political title. But Muhammad did not use this word, so it's not like it's interesting because if you
kind of like the Pope and Jesus, right? Jesus never considered himself a pope.
The Pope is a great example. The Pope is not a prophet, but in Catholic canon, he is the proxy of the prophet on earth, right?
Yeah, he's like the vicar of Christ.
Sure. So that's essentially the concept.
What's a vicar?
Like a representative.
Oh, okay. And the other question was about Stefan Molyneux, was it not?
Yeah. I
Well, has this question been answered to your satisfaction? First of all, I don't mean to change topics on you too quick.
No, yeah. It's just I was just struck by the fact that this uprising in the Sudan 100 years ago, all the same kind of language is being used about the caliphate.
Well, they're trying to place themselves squarely in the earliest of Islamic traditions, and that's what they're claiming as their source of legitimacy. That's why they do that.
Oh. Okay, so it'd be kind of like a Christian uprising and someone claiming to be the throne of St. Peter or something.
Yeah. Or the true Pope.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, Pope equals Caliph.
So what's your question about Stefan Molyneux?
Well, you had brought up. Well, maybe you didn't bring it up, but someone called in yesterday when you were on Free Talk Live and told you about the lies that Stefan Molyneux told in the Joe Rogan video. So I went and I checked that out and I looked at the document that he was talking about. And to be honest, I was kind of disappointed. Did either of you read it?
No, I saw a few YouTube videos that read portions of it, but it wasn't an important issue to me anyway because the idea that someone could take away his wife's license to practice talk therapy strikes me as illegitimate on the surface, so I don't care about this issue.
Well, right. If you actually read the whole statement, it seems pretty clear their main problem with her is that she's a psychologist talking to people on the internet. That seemed to be
it was about the setting, not about the advice.
So anyway, to the specific allegations that were made about Molyneux's statements, Joe Rogan basically asked him 3 questions. He asked him, and Molyneux basically gave 3 answers. The way I read the clip, he asked him, did she get in trouble with the authorities in Canada, the psychologist board or whoever oversees them? Did she get her license suspended? And did the final result condemn defooing as like illegitimate or not a best practice or something to that effect?
And give us the truth.
Well, Molyneux answered the first question ambiguously. He said she didn't get in trouble, which depends on how you view trouble. I mean, they didn't take away her license, but they made her do some kind of penance, like she had to be mentored and she couldn't go on the internet or something. And it's true her license was not suspended. It said you have to complete some kind of probationary program. So it is true what Stefan said in that video. Her license was not suspended. But then Stefan made it sound like the final verdict was like it endorsed defooing, like it said defooing is a legitimate medical practice. And it really didn't say anything about defooing. It just said that we are concerned about your statements you've made about defooing, right? It didn't really talk about defooing at all.
Yeah.
So Stefan made it sound like they came out and endorsed defooing. So that's
here's the thing: as I understand it, defooing is an industry term, and it is something that people that talk therapists and stuff will sometimes advocate. But it is supposed to be best practices are that it's done in this sort of clinical setting where you have doctor or therapist-patient confidentiality, and they've done a full workup on you and your problem and whatever. And so they were concerned about the setting, not the advice.
Right. Did you say? Did I hear you correctly? When you said that Stefan did not actually invent that term, defoo? Someone else invented that?
I think foo is the industry term. They may have invented defoo.
Okay. Well, anyway, like you said, and I'm glad you struck to the root of this issue, Davi, because really a lot of these, and I heard you talk about the Ben Stone thing. A lot of these complaints to me seem to come down to the standard, like Molyneux's a cult leader, narrative that was happened in 2008 when he told that there was a controversy in the British media where he told a teenager to defoo or suggested it, and he did, and he was 18, and there was a huge media circus over it. It's starting to feel like a rehash of that. I think the real issue is what you pointed out, Davi, is he going to live up to his principles of voluntarism and freedom and not use copyright and reach some kind of agreement with true sheaves.
And here's the other thing: being a cult leader is not a legitimate libertarian condemnation. There's no NAP violation in being a cult leader.
Well, that is true. And of course, I mean, you could use you could also argue that liberty people are cultists, right? Because there are figures who speak, and there's a common message, and people are separated from their families, and da. So, I mean, at this point, I guess I'm done with the fooing and the defooing and the cult leader allegations, because there's no new evidence. He hasn't opened any temples. He hasn't excommunicated anybody. I can't see any new information in that area.
And not only that, his stuff on family is among the good stuff that I want to defend. I don't have any problem with the stuff he said on family.
Yeah, me neither. And in fact, I'm starting to more and more think that it really does just come down to this idea of blood being thicker than water. Because if he really was saying these things about abusive husbands, then there wouldn't really be any problem at all.
Yeah.
Most people would have his back if that's where you were talking about.
Why are libertarians jumping on this bandwagon of her license may have been revoked? Shouldn't we all be against this license? I mean, what organization has the right to tell her she's not allowed to talk to patients?
I think what people have an issue with is that it appears Stefan lied about the license. It's the lie that he told, not the fact that there is a license.
Yeah.
It's that he said...
It sounded like a lie. I don't know how that's going to get resolved, because if that document I read is the real one, then at least what he said is misleading. I don't know if it's a lie, but it was misleading. But I don't really care anyway, because she shouldn't have to have a license to practice psychiatry in Canada.
Oh no, before we go, I want to let everyone know that the Peacekeeper app is now available for download on the Android app Google Play Store. It's always been available at the Apple App Store, but now you can download it free. It's an app that could replace police. Check it out at peacekeeper.org. It's all free. I want to thank my guests, Josie Wales and Davi Barker. This has been Peace News Now. Check us out at PeaceNewsNow.com. We'll see you Sunday.
The Shire Free Church offers sanctuary to the...
Rock on. Hey, thanks again, Nathan. Thanks, Davi. You guys rock. And I did have to kind of cut off your conversation. Did you want to finish your thoughts before I close this video?
I just wanted to say something to Davi about he was actually on Liberty Phoenix's show. I was listening to it today, and I was just really impressed the way he talked about the Milgram experiments. I mean, I've heard you talk about it before, but it was genius. I loved it.
Thanks. That was a while ago. I don't remember what I said.
Well, I found this really great quote that you said it. It's almost, it should be like I don't know, like know how some books have quotations on the chapters to open them up. I think this comment should be like an epitaph or an epigram for one of your chapters.
What is it?
You were talking about one of the replications, and you said, quote, "It's the people who have a creed of their own and don't just imprint a creed from the authority figure, who have in their own mind and their own heart a strong sense of right and wrong, who are most likely to disobey."
There you go. That is good.
Let's leave it on that note. That was awesome. Davi, you are awesome. I can't wait to see you again.
Yeah,
Thanks
for sure.
Everyone. Peace.
Have a great night.
Peace.